we take 10 minutes, as we always do, for the sake of our sanity, our mental health, just to look at the lighter, brighter, stranger side of the news. It's time for the Breakfast Club. Grab yourself your favourite cup of caffeine and maybe a crumpet or two. Or if you've had a mad bank holiday weekend, of course, leftover cold pizza from the night before, perhaps. Joining me around the breakfast table this morning is comedian, writer, actress Helen Lederer. Very good morning to you.
Oh, good morning, Salma. It's interesting that you talk about crumpets because I was on the train not long ago going somewhere, to Edinburgh.
Right.
And it was just such a nice idea to have crumpets. So I took a photograph of the two crumpets.
Okay.
No honey or jam, alas, but butter.
No.
And it caused a lot of concern on the X. People were worried that they hadn't been properly toasted. What's your feeling? Do you need them quite firmly browned, or are you happy with them soft?
Do you know what? It's so interesting that you say this because the crumpet conversation is quite contentious. I didn't realise how contentious until I started talking about crumpets on the radio, to be fair. But over the weekend, I went somewhere for breakfast and on the menu was crumpets. Now, crumpets is not something you see on the menu often. And I thought, how exciting. And I do like me a crumpet. I do. So I thought, I'm going to order these crumpets. And then it occurred to me that they would never make the crumpet the way I particularly like the crumpet. Right. So I did it because I like my crumpet. Yes, I do like it crispy on the top, soft on the inside. It has to be absolutely drowning in butter, salted butter, of course. And then I want the tiniest hint of honey on it so that when I bite into it, I have that crunch, then the soft, the salty butter, and then the sweet honey. So I'm very particular about it, and I just didn't think they'd do it justice.
That is a lot. And alas, had I gone into that detail with the very kind man who was very busy on the train, I think it would have gone over. I don't think I'd have got that attention.
Did you enjoy your crumpet, though?
I did. I ate it too quickly, which is another something a bit ugly, but very ugly.
And how do you feel about leftover cold pizza for breakfast after a heavy night? No,
please, no, please don't make me go there. No, there's a sadness in that. No, I can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I find there to be a fun and frivolity in it, but there you go.
No, because it'll just be hard. It won't go anywhere. It'll just be the remains. It'll be over.
How about warmed up pizza from the night before for breakfast?
No. I feel that it had its time.
Okay, fair. Do you know what?
Let it go.
I say that, and I think I used to do that when I was young, but I wouldn't do it now. So maybe we're just becoming grown-ups.
I think
perhaps that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, lots of people will be waking up with some sore heads this morning after the frivolity of Carnival, and of course it's going on again today. Nearly 1 million people due to come down to the streets. Wow. Are you a Carnival bunny?
I think the notion, everything about, that expression, what's not to like, I think is very apposite here. I just think it's a joy. It's a joy to see just people just do that, to transform, like a street that's doing one thing, and the next day, da-da, and then people practice and work together and do their special dancing, and it's a joy.
It is a joy.
But I wasn't there.
No, I think that's a tragedy because I am envisaging you in the feathers, the outfit, the sequins, the bikini. And I think you would look tremendous, Helen.
I give it a shot. I try and give it. I say that, would I? Bit self-conscious now, but no. I think that. But I do think that what's lovely. I mean, it's every year, isn't it?
Every single year.
Yeah, and the fact that happens every year and for years and years and years, it's survived. It's still going. It's just one of our things, and we should be happy about that.
Indeed, and some very important racial significance behind Carnival as well, and a brilliant history to it. You're absolutely right. Well, there'll be lots of partying in the streets of West London tonight and throughout the day. Now, in other strange news, we've got a story here about the most important cat in London.
Oh, I know. I have. That's interesting. Now, I'm trying to read between the lines because I saw the thing from the Times, and I'm hoping that this isn't kind of preparing us for the end, or is it just a kind of news leak?
Well,
how they'll deal with it.
A news leak, perhaps. Okay, so give us the story. Who's this about?
Well, this is about Larry the cat, and I saw this yesterday, and actually the origin of Larry the cat was taken, I think, from the home, wasn't it? The Battersea
Battersea
home
Cat and Dog home,
for
yes.
the Camerons, wasn't it? So what's interesting is how come the Camerons, if I'm right, didn't take it with?
That's
but anyway,
true.
Be that as it may, all the news footage that I've seen, I looked at this. That the cat is impervious to celebrity status, politicians, Larry just walks around.
Yes.
And do you remember there was that news footage of a policeman just picking it up and putting it inside the building once? So we love Larry because there it is, but it doesn't care. And we want to be like Larry, don't we? We want to not care as much as Larry doesn't
Larry.
care.
Yes,
yeah.
Larry makes politics entertaining because every time there is something huge politically going on and the Prime Minister has to come out of Downing Street and give a statement, Larry is always trending on Twitter, and Larry makes it hilarious. So this is, of course, Chief Mouser Larry over in Downing Street, and apparently there are plans drawn up for when Larry dies. These are contingency plans. It's codenamed Larry Bridges, and Larry is 17 years old, which apparently, Helen, for a cat is very, very old. He's in his twilight years.
I think that, because I think Larry has his own X account. There's a lot of attention for Larry, partly because of this imperial attitude, the apolitical, or even doing two fingers at politics, if I may say. So Larry represents a lot to all the anarchists in the world, doesn't he? And we love him for that. We love him for his lack of neediness. So it will be hard. It will be very hard, actually, won't it?
Yes.
When the moment comes.
Well, exactly. And then will you get another one? Is it going to be like a crown passing on to the next cat?
This is a weird thing because the Camerons, I didn't realise when you said mouse, so it was obviously to catch mouse. So that's another thing. Maybe there are mice and maybe there's vermin in Downing Street. I don't know. I'm not.
Some would say there is a lot of vermin in Downing Street, Helen.
There is that. Well done you on that one, Summer. But I think Theresa May took care. All the Rishi, they haven't jettisoned him. They still feed him. So all these different leaders have taken care.
Well, I would say if any new Prime Minister went into Downing Street and did anything to Larry, there would be riots on the street. There would be uproar across the nation. It's one thing that people will not stand for, Larry being touched.
It's you're right. It's a given, isn't it? It comes with, just like the furnishing, although maybe the furnishing gets changed. We haven't. Oh yes, that's another story.
Yes,
wonder what they're doing.
Wallpapers got changed. I don't know.
Or something. Anyway,
let's get ourselves out of this tricky political mire here.
Let's do it.
The point is, it has raised many questions for me, Helen, and I've now decided to do an entire segment on Larry the cat. I'm going out looking for answers, and I'll let you know when I have them.
Thank you.
Very good.
I think it's an important thing. It touches us. It does.
Yes,
it does,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, in another weird news, and I say weird because it really is, there's an article in The Independent here about whether or not Oasis are going to reunite. How do you feel about this, Helen? Because I couldn't care less.
Right, no, that's bold for you because normally you're so clever in treading that middle line. I've noticed.
I've thrown it out. I've thrown it out for Oasis. I don't think we have to be impartial when it comes to band liking.
Okay, well, I don't have a story. I was trying to think of when I top. What's the story? Morning Glory, is that there? Because I haven't followed, but I suppose it's like with siblings, you fall out and you really fall out, and then occasionally, like God forbid, there's a funeral or something, and then you suddenly remember your friends and you're from the so they've probably just matured or would like to earn some money. I'm saying, I like you. I don't
Cynic.
know. I wish them well. I wish everyone well. As
very
you well
good.
know.
That's very nice of you. Yes, I mean they've got. I mean, to be fair, lots of songs, big hits. Champagne, Supernova, Wonderwall, for example. Stop Crying Your Heart Out. Yes,
definitely,
Don't Look Back in Anger as well. I mean, listen, we've all sang along to them at the end of the night when they play the last song of the night. It's generally Wonderwall or something of that ilk. But personally, Helen, I'm never choosing to play Oasis. I'm never actively putting it on a playlist of mine. And whether or not they get back together is of no consequence to me. But for all the Oasis fans out there, could be exciting news.
It will mean a lot. It will mean a lot when you've kind of when you are a fan and something's meaningful and it was at a certain time, the thought of it being recreated, except older, may well be exciting.
Quite.
And that's nothing wrong with that. But I admire your honesty there.
In other musical news, apparently Taylor Swift could be awarded Freedom of City of London.
Yes.
The Lib Dems are backing the bid for it.
Oh, are they?
In a weird merger of politics and music.
Yes.
How do you feel about Taylor Swift given Freedom of the City? Should we do it?
Well, I saw a documentary on Taylor the other day,
right?
And because I'm always late to the table, aren't I, with popular movements? And I just thought, what an extraordinary person. And that what struck me about her is that a fan wrote to her saying she was down on her uppers, as we all are, as this fan was, and suddenly Taylor sent her £3,000 to help. And you go, wow, that's quite
lovely.
I mean, just gestures like that are not that usual. Now, so that's to be encouraged.
It is indeed. And do you know what?
Encouraged.
I am encouraged that the news is weird and wacky and that there are other stories around. And thank you, Helen Lederer, for talking us through them. You are a joy.
Oh, bless you. Well, and you. Let's keep off the politics then.
Quite, yes. Let's save it for the pundits that are not us.